Welcome to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. This podcast was created for the boomer woman leaving corporate, and now you're looking to reinvent yourself, become an author, an entrepreneur, a podcaster. Well, each episode will leave you with clarity. You will come away with the yes, I can and yes, I will reinvent myself mindset. So come on, let's do this. I'm your host, Margot Levette. Hello, everybody. Margot Levette here. Her business, her voice, her conversation. Well, I tell you what, I am going to have a conversation with someone who greatly influenced my life. And that's what I'm launching, a series of conversations with people that have really guided me, and most of the time they didn't even know the impact that they had on me, but now is my time to just say thank you, and I want you to meet them. So today's speaker, she is a speaker, national best-selling author, creator of Women on the Grow, which is a safe, non-judgmental space that fosters wisdom, sisterhood, personal growth. And her next project, well, she's going to have to tell us. It's probably going to be another book. I'm sure she's speaking somewhere on this terrestrial ball. She'll let us know. I am going to introduce to you, everybody, Miss Jewel Diamond Taylor. Who doesn't know this fabulous woman? But before we get into this conversation, let me tell, the show today is sponsored by Hurtin' Poet, LLC. Oh, yeah, flex your voice, content marketing, crafts promotional takeaway content that speaks to the masses. They help empower the empowerment industry through their thought leaders, their flex brand, value, and reputation, because every voice is unique. Their branding pros and your unique message brings traffic and new customers to your business. So go over to Hurtin' Poet, LLC, HURTINPOET, LLC.weebly.com. Thanks, Hurtin' Poet. Let them bring you up to speed for your marketing content. Now, let me introduce everybody to Jewel Diamond Taylor. Thanks for joining me this morning, Jewel. I appreciate it.
I was looking forward to it, Margot. You're such a force to be reckoned with. I love women like you that have a great passion, and I'm just really honored to just chat with you this morning.
Well, that's it. I appreciate your kind words, and coming from someone such as yourself, that's why today's subject is going to be, the next 30 minutes, we are going to talk about women. As we spoke earlier, women, working with women, that really is your wheelhouse. So you as a speaker, a globe-trotting speaker, a podcaster, author, definitely an influencer. When you look out at the state of women here in 2020, what are your thoughts? Where are we at? From millennials on up to us boomers, where exactly are we?
Well, my alias is the Self-esteem Doctor, so I have pretty much my finger on the pulse, and at first glance you may think the diagnosis is pretty gloomy, but there are some situations women are dealing with that their mothers and their grandmothers and their ancestors didn't deal with, just as we did not deal with some of the issues they dealt with. So we have a whole new cadre of issues that women are dealing with and trying to cope with, and they have no elders to tell them how to navigate that. Things such as being a caregiver. We're living longer, so I'm interacting with more women who are exhausted. I'm interacting with more women who, for the first time, are homeowners or college graduates, and they're trying to figure out how to balance marriage and stress and health issues and social media. We have women that are now more transparent. So my phone is constantly ringing with women who are feeling overwhelmed, burned out, dealing with illnesses, dealing with raising their children, and just tapping into their personal power without feeling selfish. So we have a lot on our plates, and some are managing it well, and some are realizing that they are trying to be like these performers, all these plates in the air, and then they start falling. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so without feeling guilty or without feeling like a failure, I'm able to have a dialect with them and help them to get another perception of themselves, redefine themselves, regroup themselves, rejuvenate themselves, and understand that this fast pace that we're living in can sometimes put some unnecessary demands and pressure on us. And so I'm really honored that women of all ages are finding Jewel Diamond Taylor to be a safe place to say, help. Or I don't know how to do this. Well, how do I do this motherhood thing? How do I do this entrepreneurial thing? How do I do this author thing? How do I become a life coach? How do I become a speaker? We're becoming more and more saturated with people that are identifying themselves as life coaches and speakers, but they yet don't have the years of experience that it takes to really make their presentations as powerful and as impactful as they would like. It takes time, and so there's a level of frustration that I'm working with women on. They want this instant gratification. They want this instant, likes, as social media drives us psychologically to seek likes and to seek, to be copied and to be, be out there as a celebrity. And, Margot, that's what social media has done. It's a democracy that allows us to promote ourselves and sometimes, how do I put this, exaggerate our realities.
Say that, Jewel. Say I think that oh my goodness, you hit a note right there. Well, you've been hitting the notes, but
yes,
you really hit one there. I am so glad that you are honest enough to really pull the cover off of the dark side of social media.
Yeah.
What is that doing to us mentally as women? Because now I am so glad that women are coming to you. I don't know how to be an entrepreneur. I don't know about this thing of marriage. I don't know about this thing of being a mother. That's a step in the right direction. But with us doing all of that, how are we faring mentally?
Well, Margot, we are paying the price emotionally, mentally, financially, spiritually, physically, on every level you can imagine. It is affecting us in one way or another. And unfortunately, we wait until it's really irreversible or it's just too costly or there's too much shame, and so we don't address it. And so I try to bring forth messages that make them feel comfortable and secure and safe to say, you know what, this is not working. You know what, I'm telling everybody I'm a bestseller, but I really only sold my books to my family and friends, and my garage is full of boxes of books. You know what, my business is thriving, but my family life is toxic or lonely. You know what, I'm only taking pictures from the head up because I have shame about my body. You know what, I've extended myself with my credit, and I am just looking over my shoulder for that shoe to fall. And so the transparency that women are having, I'm praying that they will not wait until the last minute, until they're in a crisis, because as a doctor, self-esteem doctor, you only can help those that tell you the truth. And, Marco, haven't we all gone to the doctor and they assess you and they say, okay, are you drinking? Are you smoking? Are you exercising? And then we'll say, oh, yeah, I'm exercising.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not drinking sodas. No, I don't eat fast food that often. And we're not fully disclosing our reality. And you cannot be helped if you're not telling the truth. And so what I'm finding is that there's not a lot of truth-telling because it is coupled with shame. That's the bottom line. If we could just get rid of the shame and realize everybody is struggling in one way or the other. Everybody is trying to win. Everybody wants, to be top. And the reality is that takes time.
Oh, All right.
And you have to be able to suck it up and say, yeah, I dropped the ball. I missed the mark. I need to start all over again. You know what? I was moving too fast. Or you know what? I was moving too slow. Or you know what? I was trying to do it all by myself. And so once a woman comes to me and she's able to tell the truth, then I can help her to get another perspective, to retrain her brain, to begin to navigate this stress. And, you know, when I went to Africa a couple of years ago, there is no word for stress. But we've integrated into our vocabulary and our lifestyle these words, stress and toxic. You hear a lot of that. And for me, that is for people who do not accept the reality that you're going to have highs and lows. That's for people that don't accept the reality that people change on you. That's for people that don't have the reality to understand you must have personal boundaries. It's not so much that people are toxic, it's so much that you have not established boundaries. Don't be surprised when someone is intruding into your life and putting demands on your life if you have not established boundaries. Why are you surprised? I woke up this morning with this mantra in my mind, which is an old school saying, and it says, you hurt me once, shame on you, but you hurt me twice, shame on me.
Yeah.
You've heard that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's a statement to say, okay, we are all susceptible to being hurt and betrayed and let down and disappointed and rejected. That is the reality in the game of life. But if I do not establish boundaries, if I do not have a healthy self-esteem, it will repeat itself. And so we find women in abusive relationships. We find women who are people-pleasing. We find women who are on jobs they cannot stand. We find women who are shopping until they drop. You find women who are giving their all and nothing is not transactional. They're not getting anything in return. You find women who think they can buy love with eyelashes and weaves and pictures showing not their face but their behind. I mean, when you look at pictures, I almost have to laugh. Like, when did we start showing our behind instead of showing our face? What are we selling? What are we selling? We're trying to get something that we have lost, that we don't recognize, that's already within us. And so when you embrace who you are fully, the color of your skin, the size of your nose, your height, your background, your childhood, those things where there's a deficit, but you're not ashamed of it. Okay, maybe I don't have enough education. Let me go back to school. Okay, well, maybe I stutter. Let me work on that. Okay, well, maybe my math isn't that great. Let me hire a bookkeeper. Okay, well, maybe I'm an introvert. Let me find people on my team that have more social acumen. Recognize where there is a deficit, and then seek out people and activities and resources and books that will help to activate and improve your life. We don't have all the answers. But when you try to fake it like you do, there's a thing called the imposter syndrome.
Oh, yes.
And there's a lot of people living with that, the imposter syndrome. They know that they have presented a self that is not authentic, and there's a part of them that is ashamed, like, oh, my God, what's going to happen when I get busted? When they really know that I'm a fraud, when they really know I don't feel deserving of this relationship. I have worked with women who have found themselves in relationships, and they'll tell me how wonderful the guy is, and he does this and he does that, but yet they don't feel worthy of it. They don't feel worthy of it. So what they end up doing is sabotaging the relationship. Or they get that job, or they get that home, or they release all that body weight, and they take those surgeries, and yet they still feel like a fraud, because when they look in the mirror, they see the old person. They see a body, but they don't see a soul. They don't see who that person is in that body, because they took a shortcut. And sometimes they do it for health reasons. I'm not, blasting them for doing that. But if they have not done the emotional, spiritual work before they change their body, then all of that expense and all of that pain and all that time is in vain. And so as the Self-Esteem Doctor, my approach is to help women with their mental and emotional well-being. There's a such thing as called emotional wellness. There are women who are angry, wake up angry, and they stay angry. There are women who wake up feeling sad, and they never get through it. I think you've been in my life long enough to know that I lost my oldest son to cancer, and because of that, Margot, I have an outreach to women all across the nation who've lost specifically sons, because that's what I can relate to. And what has been amazing to me is women that have not moved on. Their grief has imprisoned them. They have not been able to move forward. And I've been able to move forward. It doesn't mean I don't miss my son. It doesn't mean I don't have these huge waves of grief, but I've learned how to cope with it so that I'm not shackled by the grief, that there's a reality that I accepted, that you will lose loved ones, whether it's death or divorce or deployment or just misunderstandings. When we are just taken off our mark because of loss or rejection, that means we're not emotionally well. We're not coping well with the realities of life.
Been there.
Yeah. And we become victims instead of becoming victorious. Yeah. And so what I try to do is to be very proactive with women, that give them a foundation, give them something to stand on. Yes, we need our spiritual food, but there are a lot of women, Margot, who are experiencing what I call faith fatigue. Faith fatigue. And that's because they're getting spiritual principles, but when reality slaps them and kicks them in the gut, they don't have the emotional toolbox to say, okay, there's no need of me blaming the devil. There's no need of me trying to box with God. There's no need of me in thinking that I'm a bad Christian, I'm a bad person because this happened to me. I must learn how to use my emotional toolbox to get through bitterness, to get through anger, to get through my grief, to get through my disappointments, to get through my setbacks, and we all have them. And so I try to, my goal, my initiative is to come with a holistic approach. See, I can do the emotional piece, but you still need the spiritual. You could do the spiritual, but you still need mental health. You still need financial health. You still need relationship tools, how to talk to people, how to relate to people. What I'm finding, Margot, in our new millennials is a lack of etiquette, a lack of honoring elders, a lack of seeking out mentorship. And I believe that there are 4 different ways that women such as yourself and myself, Margot, we can, and you said it earlier, you can model success, you can mentor it, you can motivate, and some people just model it. So for me, I've been married 50 years this year. I've had models. Thank you. I've had models, like I studied their marriage. I never actually talked to them, but I watched them, and they modeled for me what it is to navigate those waters of marriage where there is ups and downs, and I'm leaving, no, you leaving, and loss of a child or loss of money or dealing with health issues. I've had models, but I've never actually had a mentor. A mentor is someone you actually are engaged with, you talk with them, they talk to you, they're able to give you resources and their time and their insight to help you become a better person. And then you can motivate people sometimes we're motivated just by a movie or a sermon or a book, and that's it, and you move on. But I think I've done all three. I have modeled what it is to be a black woman who is self-employed, who stepped out into the motivational stage in the 80s, one of the first women of color to do that, and still doing it. I believe this is my 35th year. So I've modeled it. I've mentored women. I have also motivated women. So I motivate them through my books, my CDs, or when they come to my events or my retreats, or they are part of my Women on the Grow tribe. I'm motivating them. I'm mentoring them because I'm seeing such a crisis. I'm seeing a lot of women wearing masks. I'm seeing them wearing fake smiles, fake everything. And beneath it is, and I don't mean to laugh because it's not really funny, but it's the idea that how long are we going to do this before we just break down?
Yes.
You know, I mean, and I don't mean to sound bitter or negative. It's just that as the self-esteem doctor, I have to look at what I'm seeing and then be able to give a prescription, to be able to give some type of outreach, some type of actual presence that can say, now this is what you can do to move forward. This is what you can do to heal. This is what you can do to get better. It's not over. You're not dead. But if you keep doing what you're doing, if you keep neglecting your finances or neglecting your family or neglecting your self-care or neglecting your business or neglecting your time, how you value your time, then you're going to find yourself in ICU, in intensive care.
Those are just the facts. I'm listening intensely to everything that you're saying, your wisdom, your passion, how you are able to, you have a toolbox that you're pulling from, even as we speak. I guess I want to know next, people are going to listen, and they're going to wonder, oh, my God, she's playing my song. She's reading my life. How can I get in contact with her? And if a person lives in the South Bay area, I think that this is just my personal belief, to be in the room with you where you are teaching and you are helping, you are ministering to, you are the self-esteem doctor. Will you tell us more about Women on the Grow? That is an important next, a present for you.
Well, Margaret, you said the other M because it struck me. It's like, what's the other M? And it's ministering to women. So ministering, motivating, mentoring, and modeling is what I do. And thank you for asking about Women on the Grow. I'm so glad that you've been able to participate in some of our events. But Women on the Grow is my initiative. It is my 501c3 to create programs and events and coaching. I don't turn any woman away. And because I have a 501c3 and I have some amazing donor partners, I don't have to turn women away that are saying, you know what, Jewel, I want to come, but I just don't have the finances. No problem. I just want you to want to come. Just to have the desire to come is exciting to me. We just had our vision board workshop, and two or three ladies were sponsored by other Women on the Grow, and one woman said, I'm kind of embarrassed that I was sponsored because usually I'm helping other people, but in this season of my life, I had to accept a sponsorship. And I said, no shame. No shame. We no room for that because we never know when it's going to be our turn to be in need. And so since we do have wonderful donors, it makes it possible to never turn any sister away that says, I want to be a part of your class, your retreat. We do Sunday flows. Our next Sunday flow will be Sunday, February the 9th, we meet at Barbara Morrison's Jazz Museum. We can accept up to 70 people to come to that. We have our retreat in July. We do have a website, Women on the Grow, womenonthegrow.org, womenonthegrow.org, or jeweldiamondtaylor.com, and we keep our calendar up to date. I'm constantly being asked to either speak for conferences or Women on the Grow. I am producing some type of a conference or some type of a workshop or training. I do something called Face to Face. And we sit down at a table, and I only accept 12 women, and we sit at the table, and we just put our stuff on the table. This is what I'm dealing with. It's an opportunity to ask me questions. It's an opportunity to network. It's an opportunity to hear other women, and you realize, oh, my God, I'm not the only one. Because of isolation and because people can hide through social media and they can create their narrative, whether it be totally 100% authentic or not. There are women, Margot, and you probably know this too, that I know their stories, but when I look at what they're posting, it does not match.
True. So true. Yeah.
I know women who are in wheelchairs. I know women who are blind. I know women who are lonely. I know women who are in a hospital bed on their keyboard doing social media. I know women who are isolated. They can't even leave the house because they have some type of an anxiety. I know women who they feel like they're in an emotional and physical prison. They have no life because they're caregiving for a spouse or a family member or an elder, and the only life they have is on social media. It's just amazing what social media has done. It has a positive side, but there are women that are hiding. And I'm trying to call them out. Mm-hmm. We need actual physical face-to-face, not just on social media. I need to see your face in the place.
Yes. Feel your energy.
Absolutely. Because then I can minister to you, I can motivate you, I can model for you, and I can mentor you. But I can't just do it on social media. I do have social media platforms. I am on Facebook. I am on Twitter. I am on Instagram. But that is not the best place to interact with the Self-Esteem Doctor. I need to see your face. I need you to come out of isolation. I need you to come out of procrastination. I need you to see that you are worthy enough to make an investment in yourself. Yeah. I need you to take off the mask of shame. I need you to take off those masks of, I got it all together. None of us have it all together. I don't have it all together. And I love that song, Margot, that says, I need you to survive.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
I need you to survive.
Uh-huh.
The only way I got through my grief with my son is because I was so well connected. I was overwhelmed in a positive way with so much loving energy from people that loved on me. I couldn't fall through the cracks. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How could I fall through the cracks with all the love that was poured out to me and my husband? It was the most amazing thing to experience. And I want other women to know what that feels like. So I work very diligently to make sure that those that are in my Women on the Grow ministry, that we are connected, that we are constantly aware of birthdays and losses and hospitalization and, oh, I just started my business. Oh, I just wrote my book. Oh, I'm in the hospital. We stay in touch. And there's no membership. You just show up. Now, you could be a donor, but I work very hard to have a church be without walls. It's my ministry without walls.
Ooh, this is unheard of. I have never had someone on Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation who is powerful enough to get a group of women together where they actually care about each other that intensely, intentionally. That's what the world is missing, so many people. You know what, Jewel, I'm listening to you. I so believe in what you're doing. This is the key to women being able to put down take that cape off and be who they are. And
yes,
so much better. Our families will be better. Our businesses will be better. Society will be better. Kudos to you, and thank you, Lord, for your work. I mean,
amen.
You are indeed the Self-Esteem Doctor. You gave us a so much information concerning who we are and who we portray ourselves to be, and we don't have to do that. You help us to be who we are, and it's okay. This is an amazing conversation.
Oh, I love you so much, and thank you for, as they say in the African culture, thank you for seeing me, and I see you, and that is my mandate, to see my sisters. My sisters are powerful. My sisters are beautiful, but the world has kicked them around so much, whether it be racism or debt or relationships or whatever, a toxic or dysfunctional childhood. So many women have been so wounded as children, either from poverty or abuse or violence or, oh, my God, women that have been raped, women that have, oh, my God, the stories, Margot. Sometimes I have days I can't even talk, the stories that I hear, and they'll only tell me, but they haven't gotten the courage yet to really tell others. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm just this depository holding all these stories and just praying that somehow they will be able to get the mud out of their wings, take the mask off their face, take the cape off their back, and stand fully in their power, knowing that as a human, we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and the human experience is messy and miraculous.
Mama, messy and miraculous. I'm
feeling
that.
Hallelujah. It is so fragile. We have to handle it with prayer, and we cannot afford to hide behind our houses, in our house, and hide behind our story, our narrative of being a victim. Women are powerful, and I believe that we are God's secret weapon. And I'm feeling the shift. I'm feeling the shift in politics. I'm feeling the shift in women who are starting their businesses. I'm feeling the shift in women that are owning houses and graduating from college and overcoming. I'm feeling the shift because of our wonderful Michelle Obama and our Oprahs and our Shondas. And, we've got some powerful women that are models. We may never sit down with them, but they're modeling marriage, and they're modeling business savvy, and they're modeling courage. Look at the dear sister. Her name escapes me right now, but the one that's married to Prince Harry, Meghan.
Oh, Meghan Markle. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at what is she modeling for us?
Ooh.
What is she modeling?
That was a bold move that they made. Oh my goodness.
What does she model for us? Be who you are. This sister came from L.A. She came from the Crenshaw area. Like, wait a minute. What these people got? I almost forgot who I am, and so did her husband. And so they are radically stepping into who they are, and they are modeling for other people. What have you been hiding? Where have you been hiding? Who are you pretending? That imposter syndrome. I mean, I get excited when I think about it. I mean, oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's a
Thank you. We need models of courage.
I want to see, you know what, let me know when you're going to go ahead and really speak on that, because I feel that goes deep, and men and women can take a listen to you expounding up on that. That Meghan Markle and Harry, oh yeah, I think Harry was just waiting for his Meghan Markle to come so that he could be who he was always supposed to be.
But who was his model? Who was his model? His model was his mother.
Yes.
See?
Yes.
So what he saw as a young child, it made an impression upon his soul.
Yes.
And he found it in his wife. It's like, there it is. We all want to say, oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. And so he had a there it is moment, like, there it is. And so together they are modeling what it is to be free, what it is to be courageous, what it is to be authentic. And to me, that is the new sexy. That is the new cool.
Yes, yes.
That is a new wealth.
Like it because it takes them away from their normal and that old tradition. But if more of us live our lives, and I believe that when the women gather at Women on the Grow, and as your coach, you take them on as clients, they are introduced into that Meghan Markle and Harry type of a mindset when they meet Jewel Diamond Taylor, who models, who motivates, who ministers. You definitely do all of that. Wow. Well,
and one day they'll tell the story.
I'm all stirred up. I really am. I am. See, this is the kind of conversation. This is why I can tell people that, you modeled to me, and that's why I reached out to you. Could we please have this conversation? Didn't know exactly what all was going to be said, but knew that life was going to be flowing, and insights from the Self-esteem Doctor would come walking deep and tall and ministering to people, not just to me, but to everybody who's
That's what I was born to do. That's what I was born to do. And it took me years to even stand flat-footed and say, this is what I was born to do, without apology. When I began to say that and claim that years ago, it just... something went all through my soul and my spirit. It was like, there it is. There it is. And when you own your power, that's not something my mother modeled for me. She didn't know how to do that. That's not something her mother modeled for her either. But it's something that's buried deep within us, and when you are in an environment that will nurture that, and that's what Woman on the Grow does. I create the soil for the soul. You need the soil. If the soil is not rich, I don't care what kind of seed you put in the soil. If the soil does not have the nutrients in the soil, the seed will not bear fruit.
Yes.
And so what we do with Women on the Grow is create a soil of love and non-judgment and grace and beauty and fun. I can get in your head, but we can still have fun. We can travel. We can laugh. But I want to create an environment where women can feel safe and say, okay, I'm a rose, but over there she's a carnation. Oh, she's a tulip. Oh, that's a palm tree. I don't have to be like everybody else, but I do want to grow.
Yes. You are a powerhouse. We could speak for a good couple of hours. We really, really could. And I know that your reservoir of information and instruction, insight would not even begin to be exhausted. But I appreciate your time, and I am honoring it. Jewel Diamond Taylor, you are found at Jewel Diamond Taylor Motivates. Did I have that? Do I have that correct?
What, honey, the title?
Yes, Women on the Grow. They can go to womenonthegrow.org.
Yes, womenonthegrow.org or jeweldiamondtaylor.com. My email address is jewelmotivates@gmail.com. I also have a 24-hour inspiration line where people can call and hear a thought for the day, and that number is 310-526-2552. And if they want to call to invite me to speak for their conference, their church, their campus, their corporate, that number is 323-964-1736. And that's the same number if they would like to schedule some one-on-one time with me for coaching or counseling, 323-964-1736.
I tell you what. Every woman that I know of has need of you, because everything you spoke of, we've all been there or we're there now. And some of us really don't know how to see our way to our power. So I thank you about a million, billion, trillion times your time. You are dynamic, the one and only Jewel Diamond Taylor.
Thank you so much, Margot. I appreciate you so much, honey. I honor your vision, your mission of what you're doing to be an influencer. And may God just continue to increase your territory and fulfill the desires of your heart. I know you're a woman who is on fire, and I feel it, and I thank you for it.
Well, thank you. And audience, thank you for listening. Now, you know I always say you have to listen more than one time. Today in particular, do not delay to turn around and listen again. I tried to keep it at 30 minutes, but, go ahead and listen 3-4 times and take action. What good is it to listen to her business, her voice, her conversation, and not take action with the folks that I have on each and every week, because the conversations are set up to help you, to give you how to inform you, and definitely to inspire you. So I'm Margot Levette. I'll be back next week with another episode. Her business, her voice, her conversation. Bye-bye now.
Shalom.
I want to thank you for listening to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. Couple of things that I want you to do. Right now, go to my website, pick up a copy of Her Business, Her Voice, Her Reinvention, how I went from game show hopping to international show host, author, and speaker in 1 year. Number 2, please freely listen to each and every episode. Share them out with your family, friends, the men in your lives. And then number 3, get in contact with me, one of the experts that have been on the show, because I want to make sure that you reinvent yourself. I'll be back next week with a brand new episode here on Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation.